Is that better? Okay. We are live. Let me see. How do I fix this? Okay. So we are live for the book club discussion for Elatsoe. And I'll wait a minute for people to come in and say hi. Oh, Spencer's here. You did remember. Awesome. So hopefully people will come in the next couple of minutes and we'll start talking about this. I hope this isn't as scattered as I feel like it's going to be, because my brain is just not working with me today at all. So I just got back a couple hours ago when we were beginning phase 2 of the move out of dorms process, because we have to move the kids out by Thursday. I think they're coming home Thursday afternoon, and they have to be out of the dorms by Friday, but like people are coming into town this weekend. So I'm like, we have to get them out as early as possible and as easily as possible. So like we brought home, I don't even know, so much stuff today. And I'm stressed out because I've been cleaning the house in preparation for company coming. And now I've just made another mess. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with all the dorm stuff. It's stressful. I don't know, but I'm trying to like figure out how this live show is going to go, because I haven't had the time to think about it. And I finished the book a week ago, which never bodes well. So bear with me. Oh yeah, college ends really early. I mean, I don't even know what the date was, but it was in April. But we were driving into Manchester and we saw at the big Verizon arena that they were having a graduation ceremony for SNHU. And I'm like, already? It's not even May. So it's crazy how early they get out. So I did make notes. So I have talking points, but like I could not find discussion questions that pertained to Elatsoe specifically. So we'll just have to wing it. I'm hoping you guys will help me out because I'm very disorganized right now. So let's talk about initial thoughts. I'm going to grab the book so I have it nearby. I gave this, I think, 4 stars, but it's really like a 3.75 sort of deal because I liked it. It was good. I just like, I don't know. I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. And I feel like this is another case of a book being like super hyped to me that I was gonna love it. And whenever that happens, I end up not loving the book as much as I hope I will. So I don't know. I liked it though. I think if I were going to be specific, I would give the writing a 5 star. The writing of this book was beautiful. I loved the writing. And I thought the characters were like a 3 for me, because I feel like for the most part, the characters were pretty flat. Like they didn't grow and do much like I expected with how good the writing was. So I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. Kirby gets 5 stars though. Kirby was my favorite part of this entire book. Like, give me all the ghost dogs. I loved that. So yeah, my overall was like 3.75, maybe close to a 4, but not quite a 4. It was fine. And that's the part that has me stressed out about doing a discussion, because I'm like, this is one of those books where if I just read it to read it, I would have been like, that was okay, and then never think about it again. So now I'm like, how do I talk about a book like that? Because I didn't love it, and I don't feel like I have a lot of like things to say. Yes, Spencer, I agree. I almost feel like this was almost a middle grade book for me, which was weird because I know it's YA, but it didn't feel like YA. It very much felt like a middle grade story. And so I almost think this was misrepresented. Excuse me. I have like all the allergies right now too, so I'm going to be like grabbing tissues left and right. But yeah, I don't know. I thought this book was just not what I expected it to be, personally. But some of that was a good, like, surprise, and some of it was not. Like, I don't know. Yeah, Lauren, it did. It felt very much like an upper middle grade book. Like, I'm probably going to give this to Regina to read because I feel like she might enjoy it. And it's like a cute story. It was very like whimsical, I feel. Like, I liked some stuff about it. I really liked the mythology aspect of it and how like all this mythology is kind of real, but I didn't like the murder mystery. Like, I don't know, murder mystery, like murder investigate. Oops, excuse me, my desk just bounced. Murder investigation stories just like don't work for me usually because I need to be invested. I need to care about this person's death and what happened to them and the person I need to be invested for that to work. And I just was not invested enough for it to matter to me. Like, I don't know if it would have made a difference if the murder she was investigating was like a closer relative, like her brother was the one that died. Honestly, I don't know if anything would have fixed that for me. But I just didn't care about that plot point at all. And I almost feel like it didn't need to be there to make the story work, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I wish that hadn't been a part of the story. Oh, Laura, yes, the cover of this book is maybe one of my favorite things. Also, this is a rare thing that you get this beautiful of a naked hardcover. Like, I almost would rather display this naked, but I do kind of like the book jacket too. But this is probably like the thing I loved the most about the book is the book itself, with how like thick the pages are. And it just feels like heavy. Like I could probably hurt somebody if I threw this book at them. And I like that. I don't know. I like the weight of it and the feel of it. So the book itself, 10 out of 10. Love it. Yeah, Spencer says, I felt like it needed to either go all in on the murder mystery or do more of the mythology. Exactly. I don't think it needed both things. And I thought the mythology was a lot more interesting. I want more sixth grade stuff. I want more of that. The vampires. I want more of that than the murder investigation. Like, I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't necessary to the plot. And it just kind of pulled me out of the story a little bit. But I loved Kirby. I loved all the ghost animal stuff. I thought that was like the coolest thing, and I wanted so much more of that. And yeah, the vampires. I loved it. I want more of that stuff. And I felt like if she had gone more that direction, then the book would have been more YA and it would have been more interesting. But I don't know. I definitely want to read more of Darcy Little Badger's writing though, because the writing was beautiful. So I think they have a new book out, but I can't think of the name of it. Snake Comes to Earth or something like that. I'm curious to read that to see if I like it better. Oh, I always forgot about the Coyote Woman. Yeah, that was really cool. There was a lot of really interesting mythology happening in the book that I would have liked more of. So yeah, I kind of feel like this world could like have so many different story. Like I think the author could do so much with this world and could have so many different stories that take place in it outside of Elatsoe. I think that would be really interesting to revisit it. I don't think the new book is set here. Dania says, I felt like some things were so underdeveloped and confusing, like the part where Ellie's mom goes into the mansion during the party with the basketball team and the time passing differently. Yes. I felt I listened to the audiobook for most of it. Like I was going back and forth. So, and some of it I was like reading along with the audiobook. And I don't know if it was that I had it up too fast, but I felt a little bit lost at some points at the end of the book. I just felt like there was too much happening and I could not place everybody. It was a little bit weird. Okay, so maybe I was missing anything, Dania, and it was just a little bit weird. I don't know. I just felt like I was a little bit lost. So I don't know. Is this a debut? Does anyone know? Is this their debut novel? Because I'm wondering if like it was just a part of like the figuring things out as you're writing thing. Maybe their second book is better. I don't know. I'm definitely going to look it up. So what else? What did I write down on here? Okay, so yeah, talked about that. Let's see. I did like that the teenage characters in the story behaved like teenagers. I liked that. because I feel like that's pretty uncommon. A lot of the YA books I read, the teenagers almost act like adults and make a lot of like adult decisions instead of making dumb decisions like most teenagers do. And I do feel like the kids in this were kids, which maybe also lent itself to feeling more middle grade than YA now that I'm thinking about it. But I did like that aspect a lot. You know, Spencer, I don't think I even thought about that. I didn't think she was going to show up as much as I thought Ellie was definitely going to the underworld. Like that was going to be a big plot point, and it was. So that was pretty interesting. I wish I had more stuff about that though. The whole going to the underworld thing. Like I thought that was really interesting. I would read an entire book about that because I just felt that was very cool. I read a middle grade book, I think last year, The House with Chicken Legs or something like that. And it was very much about like going to the underworld and the land of the dead and that kind of stuff. So I'm really into that kind of thing. And I would have liked more of that. What else did I write down in my notes? Yeah, I said I enjoyed the mythology and I really liked that aspect of the story. And I will say for a book about like ghosts and murder and vampires and all of that, it was very like lighthearted and whimsical, which was kind of an interesting change because a lot of the stuff I read with that in it is very dark. Like I tend to read a lot of dark things. So it was interesting to see a story that has the same elements as a lot of the dark books that I read, but being like really whimsical and light and kind of almost childlike. So that was very interesting and different. I don't know if I liked that more or less. I agree, Laura. I do tend to like the dark things more, but every now and then I surprise myself with like enjoying something really light and fluffy, but not this as much. I think I would rather have this leaned into the dark because I don't know, for me that was a little bit like I can't decide how I feel about it. Some parts of it I liked, and some of it I just felt like this would be better if we could go like all in on it. Like if we're going to the underworld, I want to like see the dead things and like feel the darkness of that. And I just didn't. So I don't know. Oh, but I did. One of the things I did really like was the ghosts and how the ghosts work in this world. It felt very Pet Cemetery to me, like the dead come back wrong when you bring them back. So like you can't bring back these dead people as ghosts. Ghost animals are okay. Ghost people are dangerous. And I kind of enjoyed that aspect of the story. I felt that was like the darkest thing we got out of this was that. And I don't know. Again, more please. I want more of that. Yeah, Spencer, I agree. It did need to go all in more than it did. This book felt kind of hesitant to me, like it wasn't sure what it was supposed to be, so it was just trying to do lots of different things and yeah. I don't know. Let's see, what else did I write down? Yeah, mostly just that I liked the creatures. I liked Kirby. I liked the ghost trilobites. I liked the mammoths and the vampires and all of that stuff. I felt like there was just so much scope for stories set in this world that had nothing to do with Elatsoe. Like it could be like so many different things could be happening in this world. Like let's go to the past, let's go to the future, let's see all the different ways we could explore this. Oh, Sarah's here. Hi, Sarah. Sarah, what did you think of this book? I feel like you rated it much more highly than I did. I want to hear Sarah's thoughts. Okay. Spencer said it felt like the author wanted to do a lot of different stuff, but didn't know where to focus, and it felt like they had to include the murder mystery. Yes, I agree. It did feel like all over the place in so many ways. And I feel like it took away from the character development because the characters in the story just felt very, very flat to me. Like nobody had any real growth over the course of the story. And like the friendship felt kind of forced for some reason between Elatsoe and I can't even remember his name. The boy she's friends with. Yeah, Sarah, I did like the world building a lot. I felt like the world building was the best part of the story for me. Thank you, Jay. I knew it started with a J, but for some reason I kept thinking Jason, and I knew it was wrong. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like the world building was my favorite part of this entire thing because I want more stories set there. I just didn't like this one as much as I wanted to. But that was another thing I did like, that the parents were both alive, because I feel like that again is so rare in a middle grade in YA. It's almost no parents, or if there's one parent and we're dealing with the death of a parent. So I like that we had both parents alive. Spencer, yeah, I agree. The friendship didn't work for me at all. They didn't feel like they were really friends. It felt very weird. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I did know, I knew Ellie was Ace because I remember Sarah telling me about that. Um, but I did like that we had an Ace character and that she's friends with a boy and that there was no romance or any hint of romance either. So that was refreshing. Like that they were kids that acted like kids, that the parents were both alive, that there was no romance. I don't know. Stuff like that I appreciate that. Oh, yes. But Spencer, I agree. I kept getting lost as to who was related to who and how because it was not explicitly stated enough. And she kept calling her mom Vivian. And I was like, wait, who's Vivian? And I kept like losing track of who was who. I don't know if that was just because I'm listening to the audiobook instead of reading, but I was reading too. I don't know. I just, it was a little bit confusing for me. But yeah, I agree, Jessica. I did like that her being Ace was just kind of a casually referred to thing. Like it's no big deal. That's just who she is. And they didn't like make the story about that. Maybe I just didn't feel any kind of chemistry between Ellie and Jay, so I just like totally missed that he might like her that way. I don't know. Does anyone have any thoughts about the villain whose name I also can't remember? I think I wrote down just that I felt like he was an okay villain. Like he got darker towards the end, but like I didn't feel the tension building that I think I was supposed to feel over the course of the story. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get any kind of like relationship vibes. Like their friendship just didn't work for me, so I just didn't really see that at all. I think that like boys and girls being friends has been done a lot, but yeah, usually you have a guy who is interested in some, and that's why they're friends because he's interested. Um, yeah, Abe. Abe was the villain, right? Yeah. I don't know. I felt like we needed more of his backstory or something because again, the end of this book was very confusing for me and I could not quite follow what was happening. I kind of almost wanted to reread it again. I just didn't ever get a chance to do that. I wanted to go back and read the last couple of chapters one more time before the live show to see if maybe I just missed something, but that just didn't happen. But like the end of the book was so confusing and like I felt like Abe had potential to be an interesting villain if he was more fleshed out. Because I think the idea there was something. It just never became what it could have been, I guess. I don't know. This book just didn't work for me as well as I wanted it to, and it kind of bums me out. Yeah, I agree. There was so much opportunity for something great that we just got something okay, and I don't know. I agree, Justine. Like the whole book did feel like she was trying too many different things and too many too many storylines, but like not quite nailing down any of them, which I don't know, pick one and work hard at that. I don't know. He did feel kind of like an insert villain, so I agree, Spencer. Like, I don't know. I hope the book for this month is better because, like, I really hate trying to lead a discussion for a book that I just didn't really get anything out of because I feel like I'm trying really hard to come up with things to say, and it's a lot. But I did like the how pretty this book is. Sarah, I hope you don't mind that I tabbed it as I was tabbing like mostly like lines that I thought were pretty. So, but my tabs now that I'm looking at, I'm like, I don't know what I tabbed. I have no idea. Like, I think I was mostly just looking at things that I thought were pretty or like interesting. So most of it's probably mythology. But I really hope Evelyn Hardcastle is great because, oh my gosh, I need a great story. Like, I'm like just slowly creeping out of my reading slump, and I don't want another book that's going to bog me down because it's been I've been just very stressed out and very like all over the place lately. So this book just wasn't it for me. So I'm hoping I read something really great. But yeah, I agree, Spencer. I didn't hate it. Like, it was one of those books, literally, I would have just been like, that was fine. Like, I didn't review it because I didn't know how to review it. And I figure, I'll talk about it enough in the live show that'll count as my review. But also, like, I still don't know how I feel about it. Like, it was fine. I just finished reading Tokyo Ever After by Emiko Jean, which was very cute, but also not what I thought I was getting into either. Was much more heavy on romance than I was expecting, which now that I'm looking at the book, I'm like, Emily, don't be stupid. Of course that's a romance novel. I just didn't realize it was a romance until I got like a little ways in and went, oh. But it was fine because it was enough other stuff happening to make me interested in the story. So it worked and I liked it enough, but it was just not what I thought. That's happening to me too much lately, books being not what I was expecting. Yes, Justine, exactly. I wish there had been more focus on the native magic as well. Because that was interesting. Like the thing in passing about how they had the power to keep ghosts and other creatures off their land because it was their native land. That was interesting, but like we never came back to it really. I don't know. Spencer, I'm very interested in Children on the Hill. I've never read anything by Jennifer McMahon, but I keep saying I need to. I think I own Winter People, but out of all of her books, I think Children on the Hill sounds the most like what I would read. The synopsis sounds very Stephen King-ish, so I'm really interested in reading that. So I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts when you finish it, if I should get it or not. But I'm really into stories about children that have like horror elements in them. I love that. I don't know what that's about, but I really like stories where the kids are maybe evil. Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping Evelyn Hardcastle is also like a really fast-paced story because I am a little bit intimidated by the size of it, and this is just a weird, crazy month. But I'm hoping. How long is this book? Is this part of the story, or is this an extra? Yeah, this is like almost just over 450 pages. Maybe I'll look for the audiobook for that. I don't know. It is a big book. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm slightly intimidated, but I'm hoping that it's got enough like weird elements in it. Like I know it's like a time loop kind of a thing, which I usually really love. So, I don't know. You know, Spencer, you're probably right. I don't know if I want to listen to that on audio. I might need a notebook nearby so I can take notes, keep track of who's who, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of like, yeah, like Clue, a lot of like little threads and bits and pieces that I need to pay attention to. Sarah, I told you it was a time loop, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I said that. But yeah, this is like, yeah, it says Evelyn Hardcastle will die every day until Aidan Bishop can identify her killer and break the cycle. So like I think the way the story works is like you're in this each character's head, but like he wakes up as each person, I think. Maybe. I might be getting that wrong. But like yeah, it says that right here. I should keep reading. It says, but every time the day begins again, Aidan wakes up in the body of a different guest, and some of his hosts are more helpful than others. So he's trying to investigate this murder, but he's waking up each day as a different person, and it's like the same day over and over again until he figures out who kills her. So sounds like it has potential to be a favorite. Like I could see that being a 5-star for me. So really hoping. Oh, I have weird big feelings about The Time Traveler's Wife. I don't know. That book was very like, I don't know. I read it. It was in my 20s, I think, and I read it and I remember loving it at the time. But the movie does not work for me at all. So I don't know. But maybe I don't know if I'd ever want to read it again. This is one of those stories that like I read it and I'm good. But I'm really hoping Evelyn Hardcastle is good. I'm big into time loops. That's one of my favorite like sci-fi aspects of things. I love Groundhog Day. There was another movie like that. I don't remember what it was called, but it was really silly. Had Andy Samberg in it, and it was a time loop. Yeah, no, I don't like that movie at all, Spencer. It just doesn't work. I don't know. Honestly, though, Audrey, what is her name? Audrey something. I can't think of the author's name, but her books are weird. I read her Fearful Symmetry, thinking maybe I'll like this more, and no, did not like that at all. Like, that was not a good book. It didn't work for me at all. So, yeah, I don't want to read any more from that author. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm trying to think, what else have I read with a time loop? There was an is it Jason Reynolds? I forget the name of it, but I read that a few years ago, and that was a time loop, or he has to like he thinks he has to save this girl from dying, and so he keeps like reliving this like 4-month period over and over again, and like causing problems and fixing problems. It was really interesting, and I really liked that. What the heck was it called? I'm going to look it up because I don't remember anything right now. Let's see. Of course, I look it up and I can't find anything. Is it Jason Reynolds or was it a different author? Hold on. Now I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, the Blake Crouch book. It's orange. Dark Matter. I read that too, and that was really fun. I keep saying I'm going to read more Blake Crouch as well, and I have not yet. I'm sorry, not Jason Reynolds. Justin A. Reynolds. That's who I'm talking about. What is the book called? Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, of course it's not going to work. Why would you work? Opposite of Always. That's what it was. Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds was a time loop that I really liked. Yeah, time loops is one of those things that if that's in the story, I'm probably going to read it, or I'll at least try to read it. Oh yeah, Bird Box is good. Bird Box is a book, and I think they even wrote a sequel, but I have like no desire to read it. Has anyone read the sequel to Bird Box? I don't think I'm gonna ever pick it up, but there's a chance that if everyone tells me it's amazing, that I will read it. But to me, that was a finished book, and I was like, why do we need a sequel? Was it good? Should I read it? I just can't decide. It's one of those stories that I was like happy with how it ended. Neverworld Awake. I own that, but I don't remember what it is. You know, who's the author of Bird Box? Jason Mallerman, something like that. His books are very hit and miss for me. I own several of them, and I loved Bird Box. I think he might have peaked. Josh Mallerman, thank you. I am struggling today. I need sleep, but yeah, his books. I don't know. I own several. What else do I have? I have the green one. It's really a pretty color, and honestly, that's the only reason I've kept it as long as I have is because it's pretty. But I don't know if I'll ever pick it up because I've heard so many bad reviews about it. Inspection, is that what it's called? I don't know. And I read Mad Black Wheel, which I thought was like a really cool premise, and I still really liked it, except that I felt like it could have done more. But I don't know. Yeah, Inspection, I own that. And I keep thinking about it as maybe something I should try because it does have kids. And I like the concept he's got going there, but I've heard too many bad things about it. So now I'm like, do I not read it? Do I keep it because it's pretty? I don't know. I know, Spencer, I agree. The idea of Mad Black Wheel was really interesting, and there were parts of that book that I thought were spectacular, but overall, it just didn't have a good flow. Oh, is Neverworld Awake a time loop? I did not know this. That just bumped to the top of my TBR, which is insane. I don't know. I have too many things I need to read, but I did not realize that Neverworld Awake was a time loop. Oh my gosh, I bought it because it's like a YA book, and I own Night Film, which again, have not read, but I've heard so many amazing things about. So, maybe I'll squeeze it in. I don't know if it's going to happen this month. I have a lot of things I need to get to this month, but I definitely want to make that happen because I've owned it for like 2 years and I've never read it. I've never even read the synopsis, clearly, but I just bought it because I've heard so many good things about the author. And I really wanted to try something, and I thought if I can't make myself pick up Night Film, perhaps I could pick up a YA, which so far has not been true. But now that I know it's a time loop, though, I don't know. I feel like we're going to have a much better book discussion about Evelyn Hardcastle than we have with Elatsoe, because I feel like I'm going to have a lot more things to talk about. Also, it'll be after all the chaos that I'm dealing with right now has ended, and I hope my brain works again. And I will put the book up on Discord probably tonight because I haven't done it yet because I just like have been focused on getting through Elatsoe and all of that stuff. So now that we're having the live show, I'll add the discussion group stuff to the Discord for Evelyn Hardcastle. If anyone starts now, I try to wait until closer to the live show, but like I'm a little bit stressed out with how big the book is that I don't want to wait too long because it might take me a while. I feel like I want to read it slowly so I can take notes and keep track of what's happening, because I just feel like this is going to be a lot to take in and remember. So I don't know. I'm glad I picked it for like this month and not April, because there's no way I could have done it. My brain isn't ready for that until after graduation and all of that is over. After all the relatives have left, then I can start it. So Okay, so does anyone have anything else they want to say about Elatsoe? Or are we done talking about this book for now? Besides how pretty it is, like this is maybe one of the prettiest books I read this year. Honestly, I would display it like this. Such a pretty book cover. Yeah, I agree. The illustrations were very pretty. And I do also agree with Spencer that I want to read, I think Snake Comes to Earth or something like that is the second book they've written. And I feel like that book potentially could be better. I don't know. Ooh, that's lucky that Evelyn Hardcastle is on Kindle Unlimited. Because I tried to do Kindle Unlimited and ended up canceling it because I just felt like I wasn't finding enough things to read. Maybe I'll have to look at it again. Has it improved? Are there more books now? I don't know. It's one of those things that like it's nice to have if I was going to use it more, but I feel like I don't read on my Kindle enough to justify it. I have a lot of books on my Kindle, but I kind of forget it's there. I tend to only read it at night. Like I have it next to my bed because my husband doesn't like it if I have the light on for reading. So I like that I can read the screen and it's bright on its own. So that's pretty much the only time I use my Kindle. And then it takes me forever to get through a book because I'm too tired to read very much at night. So I need to come up with a better system to get more use out of my Kindle. And then maybe something like Kindle Unlimited would be worth looking into again. I don't know. I'm at the point now where I have too many things to read. Like, I don't know. That's a whole nother discussion. I have too many books, but like don't want to get rid of any of them. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and wrap this up? Thanks for coming to the discussion and hanging out with me. Oh, hold up. What is that, Jessica? If I were to use Elatsoe as part of homeschool, where would you put it? Honestly, I don't know. I would maybe do it as a lit bite because I don't know if it fits anywhere else specifically. Like I can't think of like a unit study I would put it in or anything like that. So I think it would probably just be a standalone lit bite. Yeah, I could see it going in 5 or 6. There's just like so much in 5 and 6 right now that I like can't even think of adding anything else, but it would be like a nice tie-in, I guess, with the native mythology. Yeah. So maybe that. But yeah, there's too many books already in 5 and 6. I cannot possibly put one more thing in there. It would not happen. Somebody asked me the other day, was I going to add the new history quest, American history, to 5 and 6? And I was like, I could not possibly fit another book into that. It's too much. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and wrap this discussion up? And thanks for coming and discussing books with me. And I can't wait to talk to you again when we discuss Evelyn Hardcastle. That'll probably be whatever the first Saturday in June is. I haven't even looked at the calendar. I don't know. But whatever that first Saturday in June, we'll meet here for the live discussion. I'm going to add the Evelyn Hardcastle discussion boards, groups, I don't know what you call that, to the Discord tonight probably, so that if anyone starts reading it now, you'll have a place to talk about your thoughts. So anyway, thanks for coming, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy reading. Bye.